The eyes are not just windows to the soul, they are also doors to desire. What you allow them to linger on, they magnify. What you repeatedly gaze at, they etch upon your heart. And if you refuse to discipline them, the very gift of sight that was meant to help you navigate life will become the chain that drags you into ruin. Both the wisdom of the Stoics and the counsel of Scripture echo this truth. A man who does not control his eyes will not control his life. The Stoics taught that reason must sit on the throne, ruling over passion. They believed that the wise man should not be carried away by every glittering object, every fleeting image, or every desire sparked through sight. To them, it was slavery to allow external things, things beyond your control, to dictate your inner state. The one who cannot avert his eyes from temptation is not a free man, but a captive. He may appear strong in body, but he is weak in will, and a weak will can never lead a strong life. The scriptures make this even clearer. The lust of the eyes is called one of the root forces that corrupt the soul, standing alongside the lust of the flesh and the pride of life. It warns us that looking with unchecked desire is not a harmless act. It is the beginning of sin. What starts as a glance can become a thought. The thought breeds desire, and desire once conceived gives birth to action, and action produces consequence. A single look can destroy a marriage. A single image can chain a man's mind for years. A single gaze can plant a seed that grows into a tree of regret. The Bible tells us to turn away our eyes from vanity, not because beauty itself is evil, but because the human heart is weak and easily ensnared by what it sees but cannot rightly handle. The lust of the eyes is deceptive because it promises pleasure but delivers slavery. You think you are enjoying what you look at, but in truth, what you look at is beginning to own you. The Stoic would describe it as giving away your sovereignty to something outside of you. You become a servant to a vision, a prisoner to an image, a worshiper of appearances that cannot satisfy. The more you feed it, the hungrier it becomes. The eyes are never satisfied. They are like fire. Give them fuel and they grow stronger, more consuming, never quenched. This is why men lose peace, why their hearts grow restless, why they find themselves chasing endlessly but never arriving. They are chasing shadows through their eyes. The Stoics would tell you this is folly because it ties your happiness to externals that are fading. The Bible would tell you this is vanity, a chasing after the wind. Both are saying the same thing in different tongues. If you let your eyes lead, they will lead you into emptiness. But do not misunderstand, sight is not the enemy. The eyes themselves are not evil. They are a gift from God, a tool for living wisely, a means to admire creation, to recognize danger, to appreciate truth and beauty. The problem lies not in having eyes, but in failing to control them. It is like fire in a hearth. When contained, it warms. When left uncontrolled, it burns the house down. The eyes must be disciplined, trained, and governed by reason and faith. Without mastery, they will master you. Think of the stories of men who fell not because they lacked strength of body, but because they lacked strength of vision. Great leaders undone by lust, families broken by wandering eyes, futures ruined because someone refused to turn away from what they knew they should not behold. The fall of kings, the collapse of empires, the shame of households, all can begin with a single uncontrolled glance. The Stoics would say such a man has betrayed his reason. The scriptures would say he has opened the door to sin. And both are right. Yet there is hope, and it begins with self-awareness. To control the eyes is not to walk blind in the world, but to walk alert. It is to acknowledge that not everything that demands your attention deserves it. It is to choose what you look at with purpose. The Stoics spoke of practicing discipline in every small thing, and the Bible speaks of praying, "Turn my eyes away from worthless things." It is a choice renewed daily, a battle fought silently, and a victory that strengthens the soul. This discipline is not repression, it is liberation. When you no longer bow to every temptation that flashes before your eyes, you taste freedom. When you can look at beauty without being enslaved by it, you grow in strength. When you learn to turn your gaze away from corruption, you protect your soul from rot. The man who controls his eyes controls his thoughts. The man who controls his thoughts controls his actions. And the man who controls his actions shapes his destiny. It takes prayer. It takes vigilance. It takes daily training. Just as the Stoic philosopher trained his mind to see the vanity of appearances, so too must the believer pray for wisdom to see beyond the surface. Just as the Stoic counseled indifference to fleeting desires, so too must the Christian cultivate contentment in God. Discipline of the eyes is not natural, it is spiritual, but it is possible, and when achieved, it is powerful. Control the lust of your eyes before it controls you, because once it seizes you, it will lead you where you never intended to go. It will strip you of your peace, your integrity, your clarity, your freedom. It will make you a slave to impulses and images that have no power to satisfy. But if you rise above it, if you let reason and faith govern your vision, then your eyes will serve you instead of enslave you. They will become instruments of wisdom, gateways to gratitude, channels of purity. The Stoics sought virtue. The believer seeks holiness. Both point to mastery over the self, and both agree that the battle often begins with what you allow yourself to see. Therefore, guard your eyes like a soldier guards the gate of a city. For if the gate is left open, the enemy will walk in freely. But if it is guarded, the city remains strong, safe, and at peace. Train your eyes, discipline your gaze, and let your vision be led by wisdom and God. In doing so, you will discover a freedom that neither lust, nor temptation, nor time itself can ever take away.